Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the XForceGlobal channel. Thank you very much for joining me here today. Hope you're all having a fantastic week or concluded your week. Today, we're back with another Solana analysis. It's been a while, and I'm here to make sure to update the price action from our prior analysis and see how we can go forward. As a quick disclaimer, I must cater to both the bulls and bears. I hope my analysis shows a neutral approach to help build your own thesis on the bearish or bullish outcome. So right off the bat, let's get into it. Right now, what we're seeing for Solana is extremely bullish, but doesn't come without any hardships for the shorter or medium time frames, as we did expect a little bit of a resistance here around the 618 or the 786 Fibonacci level, which is the most common area for kind of a reversal, and the golden Fibonacci zone is exactly where we're at right now. So does that mean we're going to be going for another pullback and then go up, or are we going for another move to the upside now? Well, that's for the markets to decide, but nevertheless, we do have a few ways that we can be looking at it, and we just don't know exactly how it's going to be playing out until it actually does happen. With that being said, we're looking for this cycle 3 to be continuing up, but at this point, it really doesn't even matter. We're just looking for how this major impulsive wave is going to be completing to at least see some kind of larger pullback, which should be the larger bear market continuation. But for the time being, we're looking for still a pretty handsome reward, even if we do get another pullback of another 300, 200, even 100% of a kind of a move, a last move for the intermediate wave 5 in orange. And this is going to be a profit-taking zone no matter what, if you're a bear or a bull, and it would make sense to do so just from clear risk-reward management perspective, that we're going to be at least retesting the new all-time highs, and there's going to be some profit-taking above these regions. And we have seen time after time that there has been rejections for these type of altcoins after a severe bull market, and we see some kind of resistances within these levels over here at the all-time highs, most of the time, that is. Now, for this count specifically, what we're looking for, again, like I said, we're working in the intermediate degree of this wave 3 being complete, and now working for a possible 4 that is complete, or one more pullback, and then we'll go to the upside. In terms of the probabilities, at this current stage, since we did get a clear rejection, it's looking like it's going into the second week of the rejection in itself, that we might get this final pullback, and that is the expectation that we have been talking about for the past few months or weeks, actually. And it can be completed. We'll zoom in the shorter time frames in just a moment, but for the time being, we are supported by two evident factors of the parallel channel here, right? We have two parallel channels. We have one intermediate parallel channel here, and we're currently retesting that right now for the second time, or third time actually, and that is also aligning with the median channel. So there is support within these levels, and see how we can manage to continue up now, or we're going to get one more pullback, and at that point, that would be a pretty good clear risk reward trade in terms of if we're going to be seeing this as a wave 2, 3, and then 4 here, because based on just the Elliott wave channeling technique and overall parallel channel technique, we're connecting it with the wave 1, wave 3, and then the origin of wave 2 as well. And you need 3 data pinpoints in terms of how you want to be utilizing a parallel channel. So with that being said, we do have a clear, pretty nice 5-way move to the downside for a possible wave A. And then we have another 3-way move up for wave B. And that in itself, since we are being rejected by the 618 and 786, just by expectations and just trying to be neutral as possible, we could be looking for another pullback, just based on a few fundamental factors as well, based on Bitcoin also being on the edge. If Bitcoin does kind of miraculously go up, then this idea does come into play a little bit more, and then we can be talking about which targets we're going to be looking for in terms of where Solana could end. But for the time being, in terms of talking about the targets, we should really talk about what kind of resistance is we're currently being met at right now. So in terms of the overall perspective, it's still going quite nicely. We were expecting that bounce off of here, and that bounce in itself was a 60% bounce in itself, right? So that is not too much to complain about, other than the fact that you're either taking profits in here, or you're expecting another move to the upside, and then If you're still taking profits, then you might expect another pullback, which will break this low here, spook the markets, probably wake into this region here, do some kind of undershoot or overshoot, depends on how these levels are going to be supported. But we do have a pretty good breach of support in these levels here. The first level support, we did get a reaction off of that level, and then if we're going to come back into this region, we should see a little bit of demand, at least a price reaction, that is, unless the markets just continue to dump. But at this point, we don't know what kind of news is going to be happening at that current time. But nevertheless, I do expect this 1, 2, 3, 4 to play out, whether it's going to be now or whether it's going to be at a little bit later date, possibly into the middle of summer. So if we zoom in, we can see that we do have a better looking 5-wave impulse to the downside, which makes me believe that the correction scenario is going to be at play a little bit more in terms of probability. If we look at it, we can see a clear 5-wave. It's pretty clear at this point. Again, wave 4 didn't enter the price territory of wave 1, so this is looking like a pretty clear micro time frame 5-wave move that's pretty darn clean. So that will lead us into the first actionary wave of an A, and we do have a pretty clean 5-wave move up for wave C. So this would be an ABC, impulse, and we do have a corrective move in between. That would be the B wave. In terms of the Fibonacci, let's see how it goes. It did hit that 101 target as well. So overall, looking pretty textbook of a pullback right now, for one more possible impulse move to the downside to retest a larger channel in this green channel here of the larger Elliott wave channel. So I think this idea is more prevalent, but we can fit in possibly an ABC into this here and then a WXY, but that would kind of be forcing it in terms of how large this ABC is compared to this ABC here. But again, it is what it is. The markets do have its tendencies to be inefficient in terms of the lower time frame counts. So we can really say that this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then go for a correction, come back up, come back, and then that'll complete our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the upside for that intermediate wave 5 to complete off that larger primary wave 1, and then look for that larger pullback. Either way, we're going to be looking for profits no matter what, but we're getting quite close in terms of the macro time scale. Now, if we're going to be pulling up the bearish scenario, the bearish scenario is just as likely as well, which is a really extended C wave. And the only way we can count a bearish continuation to the downside, that is possibly as a 5-wave move up for this wave C to be completing as well. So this is kind of a hybrid scenario. We're utilizing the same impulsive count here. It's just going to end sooner. This, again, either as a bear or bull, the price taking target zone is going to be the same. I would say the maximum allotted for the bearish scenario would be around the 1236 or 1382, as I currently see this as a possible flat more than anything else. So again, it does have its pros and cons. The current internal structure, this being a C wave, is quite extended in itself. We can even possibly label this as a triangle where we're seeing this as an A, B, C, D, E. And then this will help kind of also mitigate that as well. But that's also kind of pushing it in terms of how extended the C wave is. But again, C waves being extended is not something uncommon within these markets. And this is possibly the only way we can count it. Now, again, this is also possible due to the evidence of a lot of other past historical price action from other coins. So if we pull up Litecoin, for example, we can see that Litecoin also was very near the all-time highs, and this should be kind of a eye-opening price action in terms of price action. This should be kind of eye-opening because although it looked like it was quite impulsive to the upside, and we didn't have any real major stops in between, it just went for that bear market from there. And that's what created that primary 1-2 as well in between after that cycle 1-2. So it really should be kind of a lesson here for people who are also examining price action history from other coins, especially larger cap coins like Solana and Litecoin, that it can just reverse. That's the main thing. That's why we should be very aware of that possibility that it can be a possible 3-wave move, that wave C can be really extended and this impulsive move can be concluding. But we're looking for that final fifth wave of the intermediate degree, just like we saw for Litecoin. So again, we didn't even reach, we actually reached all-time high and we didn't even breach it. And that's what led to the bear market. So same thing for Solana. If we're seeing that kind of same price action, or assuming that we're going to be seeing profit taking at that point anyways, we should still kind of wait for a larger pullback at that point at these larger, higher levels when it starts to reach those all-time high levels. So again, I think that's the only way we can look at Solana right now, ladies and gentlemen. We're currently still in the bullish phase for the time being. I don't want to assume that we're in a larger 1-2, but just right now we're utilizing the efficiencies of how this current impulse is playing out, because this is a clear 5-wave move to me. So I do think that either we do get a pullback and we get that retest of that larger channel, or we have some kind of ABC, WX, and then Y into this as the wave 4, and then we continue up based on the fundamentals or the market sentiment of how Bitcoin is functioning. So those two are going to be the main things. But again, nevertheless, we still have a quite handsome reward, risk reward in terms of to the overall upside that we're going to be expecting. So right now, medium time frame is either a pullback, and then the larger time frame is one more move to the upside, just like we saw for Litecoin. So that is kind of another case study to kind of look into, and then we should see some kind of rejection above or at the levels of the all-time high. So that is when I'm going to be expecting to be kind of a full-on bear and see a larger pullback. And if we do get this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then the bear market is going to come earlier. But again, right now we don't have any evidence of a larger pullback at this current time of recording. This larger test of channel is going to be more important than anything else. So again, another handsome reward target is going to be up in these levels, again around 100 to 400%, really diverse range of a larger move to the upside. And that's not something to complain about. If you're expecting 5,000, 6,000% from these levels, then so be it. But for me, I like to be rational. In even at this current time of recording, I am even possibly expecting a possible wave 4 pullback. That'll still give us a quite relatively nice look for this Elliott wave channel to be intact, and then we can see how this top of this channel to be retested. That is going to be also near the all-time highs. So hopefully that was helpful. Again, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not in my XForce Discord membership, please do not hesitate to reach out. I do a lot of more daily analysis. I do Ethereum analysis. I also do other altcoins, selective altcoins rather, analysis as well. And if you're not following me on social media already, at X, formerly known as Twitter, please do give me a follow at XForceGlobal. Hopefully that was helpful. Thank you very much. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.